What's up, Whippers? It's Vice here, and I'm coming at you with a new deck that I've been cooking up since the release of Obsidian Flames. So, there's this new Kingambit, and it's got a very interesting attack here in Strike Down. So, if your opponent's active Pokemon has 4 or more damage counters on it, that Pokemon is knocked out. So, Pokemon with one-hit KO effects are always like very compelling, very interesting, and worth giving a look. We had one recently with the amazing rare Yveltal, and in the past we've had effects that are very similar as well. I can think of all the way back in Stormfront, we had a Marchand, which similarly was the stage 2, 1 energy required for the attack. It also had a conditional effect attached to that attack. With the Kingambit, it can target anything as long as it's got 4 or more damage counters. So you might be wondering, how do we get the damage counters into play? And so, we've got the partner in crime, Mismagius. So, Eerie Voice is what you want to focus on. 1 energy, put 2 damage counters on each of your opponent's Pokemon. The great thing about that is you can't block it with something like Manaphy. There's very few effects that are available in Standard, and fewer still that are even making their way into decks. So, Eerie Voice can be very good to set up your Kingambit for success. Speaking of setting up, you sort of facilitate this strategy by using an Arceus Pidgeot combination. So very reminiscent of how you see Charizard decks operating at the moment. You use the Arceus to grab the pieces required to get Pidgeot EX into play, which will then give you access to that quick search effect as early and for as long throughout the game as you sort of need. Because this is a deck that has a lot of moving parts. You've got to try and get that Kingambit plus the energy every single turn. Pidgeot EX is very good at facilitating that. If you look down at the energies, we've got an interesting combo here. So because both of the premier attacks of the deck only require 1 energy, I've elected to use the Luminous energy here rather than trying to spread a balance of basic energy. And of course, the reason for that is that you can be a bit more greedy with your energy count, gives you more space in the deck to make it work. Luminous energy, of course, can facilitate both Kingambit's single metal or the Mismagius's single psychic. So very sensible to want to include it. And then you might think, well, then what's the point of the reversal energy? Why would you put reversal energy if these attacks only require 1 energy? Well, the reason is that reversal energy kind of does the same thing as Luminous. It's a rainbow energy that the deck can use. Of course, it comes with that stipulation that you must be behind in prizes, right, for reversal energy to work. But being that this is a spread damage deck and then take 1-hit KO type of deck, often you'll find that you're able to use reversal energy as required. So I see the reversal energy as kind of like a 5th and a 6th rainbow type energy in the deck. And then to round it out, I've just got the 1 metal and the 1 psychic basic energy, just in case. You never know. Okay, so that's the crux of the deck. You pretty much just want to lead with the Mismagius, spread damage. You got Spiteful Magic too, so like even if you only attack once with Eerie Voice, that's fine, because Spiteful Magic will put a bunch more damage counters into play, and then you can manipulate those using the Radiant Alakazam. So you get off and away really quick, and it gives you something to do, something that's essential for the deck to work while you're setting up all your other moving bits and pieces. You might notice I've got the Bisharp here. Because there's such intense use of Rare Candy in this deck, I feel like it's really necessary to have it. And then the last Pokemon I'll mention as well, you've got the Manaphy here. You've got to protect your bench. Seems like almost an auto-include in a deck that has so many low HP Pokemon. 4 Artazon here, just to be a counter stadium against Path, and also very good at setting your deck up. Some gusting effects, which can be quite important when you're trying to take multi-prize KOs, and if they try and hide on the bench, well, Boss's Orders is going to force them out into the open. 4 Iono, because the deck has a lot of cards that you really just can't afford to discard, and Roxanne here, giving you an extra shuffle draw in the late game, as well as disrupting your opponent. Miriam here, just to recover some Pokemon that you might lose in the mid to late game. You know, get back that Bisharp, or maybe you're angling for an emergency Mismagius damage spread turn as well, and then you get your energies. So, pretty fun deck. You're probably not punching very high as far as like a tournament setting goes, but certainly a very fun deck to play, very satisfying to take those one-hit KOs with Strike Down. I got a game coming up. If you enjoy decks that look like this, please consider subscribing to me on YouTube, or maybe give me a follow on Twitch. I'm here 5 nights a week. I'd love to see you here. Please enjoy, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers. So if you don't know what this deck does, so it's a bit of a fun one, okay? You're probably not making top 8 at your local League Cup, but maybe you surprise somebody with the idea. You know, and one of the things that I like to do with this channel, one of the things that I like to promote, is the idea of like just challenging expectations when it comes to this game. And that's exactly what I'm trying to do with Kingambit. And what Kingambit does is if your opponent has 4 or more damage counters on their Pokemon, it's an instant KO for 1 metal energy. Pretty cool. It joins a somewhat limited club of Pokemon that can take conditional one-hit KOs with their attacks. They're always worth thinking about, or at least keeping in the back of your mind, you know? Like, is there anything you can do to make this deck work, this idea work, you know? I'm gonna go Artazon. I think I'm gonna hit them with the instant Iono. And if I'm going to do that, I think I'm going to fill the bench a little bit. Means using these level balls. And I think I'm going to use level ball on a Pidgey as well. Right. And then we're going to use Iono. I want to save the reversals.
It just works.
It just works. And we'll finish it out with a Pawniard. Now, this matchup's not bad for us, I think. I think this matchup's pretty interesting for us. We'll have to see how they decide to play this turn out. We got the single energy that doesn't help with our setup, which is the metal. Maybe I could have attached it to Pidgey, but it's probably okay. We've got Iono again, so Iono is going to help us dig another 6 cards deeper. And it doesn't shuffle the other cards back to the top, which is what we want. They should get a KO here, and they will probably get it on whichever Pokemon they want to get it on. If I'm in their position, I'm probably looking at this Pawniard. But they may just decide to attack the active Pidgey as well. Get it out of the way. Like, maybe they don't really want to waste a boss's orders on a Pawniard. What could this thing possibly do? Yeah. Okay. So let's see what we get. Psychic Energy is good. Iono is good. Just need to hit a level ball. Unfortunately, we used 2 level ball already, but wait and see. Goodra beginning to develop on the bench. So we actually have like a pretty reasonable matchup here, because they're looking at damage mitigation as their strategy. We sort of ignore damage mitigation and take one-hit KOs instead, and we place damage counters instead of doing damage. The one thing that does, like, kind of not work in our favor is they can Moisture Star the damage away. And that sucks. But if they attack our Mismagius with the Goodra at any point, you know, they're going to be the ones in trouble. So, all right, let's see. I am wondering if we'll see Radiant Greninja. I'm going to play like we're not. I'm going to play like we're not going to see that. It's a bit unfortunate we didn't just get a Pidgeot off the top. It would have been nice to Rare Candy straight into the Pidgeot, but never mind. And while we didn't hit the Arceus V-Star, we did at least grab a Mismagius here. So that's really good. Boom. And we're gonna go a Luminous Energy is what I would do if I could do, but it doesn't look like we will do. I am going to not grab the Bisharp because it is prized. So never mind. Alright, Eerie Voice. Here we go. It starts. So, 20 on everything. We need 40 at least. And sometimes 20 is enough because we also have Radiant Alakazam in the deck. This is going to be a tough game for both sides. It's going to be tough for us if we don't develop the Arceus V-Star and the Pidgeot. At the moment, we're in top deck mode, so it's not going so well. Have to wait and see. Ooh, little do they know that is very good for us. So I'm glad that we took the time to put Mismagius into play. Really don't want to see Path to the Peak. Please keep that off the board. Thank you. Trinity Nova. Thank you. Alright. Okay. Big damage on the backswing. We're going to promote the Pidgey because I'm definitely going to go for the Pidgeot here. And then I have to figure out how I want to navigate the rest of the turn. Woo! Alright. Arceus. We want Rare Candy and Energy here. That's the minimum requirement for this turn to work out. So we're going to go Rare Candy. And we're going to go Luminous. Luminous? Yeah. Rare Candy, Luminous Energy. Rare Candy, grab the Pidgeot. Boom. Luminous. I haven't used a supporter. So maybe I want to drag the Goodra active because I think that's really annoying for them. The other thing we could do is put a Stadium in the hand. Actually, that's not a bad idea either. It's not bad. Alright, just to make sure that we can use Blustery Wind next turn. So let's retreat. Promote the Mismagius. So, I'm still, like, considering just playing the Miriam here. It's not like we're struggling for access to Pokemon, right? And I kind of just want to draw cards. Ooh. Bisharp? We must have got it off the prizes. Alright, I like that. So we take the Bisharp. Eerie Voice. Spread some damage around, and now let's see what happens. So we've used our V-Star power-up, so Arceus is pretty inert at this point. It won't be doing too much for us, other than being a menacing presence on the bench. Pidgeot, while it is feasible for us to attack with it, we're probably not going to want to do that. That is a little annoying, seeing the Bisharp be forced active, but never mind. Never mind. So, let's see if we can't get a lucky top deck to help us on our way. Bit unfortunate to see that happen. If I can get a Metal Energy or an energy of some kind off the top, then this next turn looks really good. Dude. Alright, quick search. I feel bad about playing the Miriam. That's alright. We'll just have to figure it out. Alright. It is Kingambit time. Strike down. One, two. Rare Candy. Very good, very good, very good. Very good, very good. So we've used 2 candies. We theoretically only have to attack 2 more times. So theoretically, we only need, you know, 2 more candies to get it done. So we'll see. Now, if they use Moisture Star, which they can't now that they've used up their V-Star power, might be okay here. It might be alright. Alright, big KO. That's alright. We're going to Artazon to get the energy. Right, so we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. We don't even need it. Boom. Luminous. Do that one. We are going to Artazon here, I think. Let's have a look in the deck real quick. Got some ideas. There's some ideas in there. We're going to quick search. I think it's going to be an Iono. Because we want to minimize the chance that they can pull any funny business, you know? So it's Iono. Put them to 2. Of course, they have the big barrel, but with any luck, if we're lucky, this will be enough. We've got the Roxanne in hand too, so that's appreciated. Strike down. Boomba. One, two. Now what? Luminous. Luminous onto the Pawniard. And then what? Luminous onto the Pawniard and then what? What do I have to do? Vengeful Punch! Alright, they're gonna draw some cards. We just don't want to see Path. As long as we don't see Path to the Peak, it's very playable. Don't see Path, it's very, very playable. Whoo! Okay, we might win. We might win. Imagine you're testing your Arceus what? Your Arceus Gudra deck, and you come up against Kingambit, of all things, in the ranked ladder. This might just work out. It might be okay. Is Serena better here? So, let's think about the things that always happen. We always want to use Luminous. Alright, I'm going to play the Nest Ball. Let's just put Radiant Alakazam in play. We want to thin the deck, right? Because what do we need to win? We need Rare Candy Kingambit, right? We have quite a few outs to Kingambit. We don't have as many outs to the candy. We really only have Pidgeot for that. Now, I can play a Pokemon to the bench, and then I could just Serena, and that might be better than Roxanne, right? Wait, don't I want to Artazon and put the Manaphy out of the deck? Maybe that's what I want to do. Let's just use it. And then we can think. Alright, is it better to Serena and draw only 4? Or is it better to Roxanne? I think it's actually better to Roxanne, right? I don't know, this is, like, I would like to know the math for this decision, but, yeah. Just gotta hope. Alright, the game just gave us everything, no problem. Easy. Easy. Strike down. And thank you for a nice game. Arceus Gudra with the Vengeful Punch. Very cool idea. But a fantastic matchup for the old Kingambit deck. That's got to be a video for sure. So if you enjoyed watching that, seeing the Mismagius Kingambit combo, please consider hitting me with a sub on YouTube or catching me live on Twitch. And I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.